What's up, YouTube family? Thank you for watching again. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and share with a friend. We're doing a little something different this video, and I think you're gonna like it. No, matter of fact, I know you're gonna like it, so stay tuned. Let's get into it.
Let's go. Hunt around, bitch, with my hoes. Hunt around, bitch, with my clothes. Hunt around, bitch, with my pole. Hunt around, bitch, with my dough. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go. Taking these, 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 taking these.
The fallen leaves tell a story. The great Elden Ring was shattered. In our home, across the fog, the lands between. Now, Queen Marika, the Eternal, is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was the first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring, the mad taint of their newfound strength triggering the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Arise now, ye tarnished, ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands. The ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fia, the deathbed companion. The loathsome Dung-Eater. And Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing. And one other, whom grace would again bless. A tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between, to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord. Elden Ring, in its totality, but obviously I didn't go through any alternate endings. I just beat it one time through, and I just wanted to write down and reflect on some life lessons that the game actually taught me, and just a lot of things from the game, a lot of things I had to apply to the game that can be applied in real life, and I want to share them with you guys. So I'm hoping you like this video, and if you guys do like it, there will be a lot more Elden Ring and video game content to come, so just stay tuned and watch to the end. Okay, so the first thing I have to state was, and no one make fun of me for this, but this game actually took me about 9 months to beat. I got it in May of 2022. At this point, a lot of people had already gotten it and beaten the game, but I'm kind of a late bloomer and I'm a slow gamer. Like I like to salvage my games and really enjoy them. Like I'm not in a rush to beat the game by any means. So, yep, 9 months took me to beat it. I just beat it in February of 2023. Got it in May of 2022, and at this time of the recording, I played for 467 hours before I beat the game. By the way, shout out to Divine Games for giving me the right weapon to use to beat the game actually. The Blasphemous Blade, that's what I use against the final boss. I'll link the video to me beating the final boss, and as well as the video of him basically explaining the Blasphemous Blade, and I was like, yeah, this seems like a good strategy to use to beat the boss, and yep, it worked. It was pretty cheesy, but it was worth it because honestly, I fought him like over 100 times. I was even going multiplayer. I almost used all my fur calling finger remedies and I still didn't beat him. So at this point I was just ready to get it over with. But I felt pretty proud of myself for beating him with just me and my mimic. So pretty cool. And thank you, Divine Games, once again. But yes, overall, first lesson is you got to be patient. I mean, the game took me 9 months. I was in no rush to beat it. And that's one lesson you will really learn from Elden Ring, is just patience, because some bosses you're gonna try 100 times before you beat. You're gonna have to try 100 different builds, maybe not different builds, but different weapons, different setups, different incantation sorceries just to beat a boss or just to beat a certain dungeon that's really hard. I know you guys know, like something like maybe Ariza's Hero Grave. That's one that really stuck out to me. It was really hard. Spirit Caller Cave was really hard for me as well. So just a bunch of different places. You just got to be patient with the game, and it really does teach you to have patience and just being able to continue trying and trying again. And that's the essence of success, essentially, even in real life. You know what I mean? Not to dig too deep into that, but yeah. First lesson. The second lesson is it is okay to ask for help, and teamwork is important, because as you start off, you can virtually beat most of the bosses yourself, but once you get to like part 2 of Elden Ring with all the real, like, the bosses just get a lot tougher, and then a lot of the caves and dungeons and just places in the map just get a lot tougher. So it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to summon people. Multiplayer is very helpful. I remember I played like the first half of Elden Ring. Literally, I didn't even have PlayStation Plus, so I played it literally all by myself. And then another thing that's very helpful are the messages that people leave on the ground. Like, that literally gets you through the game. Like, read those messages was very helpful, and it just showed me like how important help is, and not always just relying on yourself, beating the game. And you don't gotta feel like, oh, I didn't beat it because I didn't do it on my own. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never even probably beat the game if I didn't rely on help. Like, definitely some bosses I hit up a friend like, hey, hop on, help me beat this boss, and it's more fun that way, and the game is more enjoyable. I think also that's kind of the same with life. Things are more enjoyable when you do things with others, and you get help from others and get advice and opinions from others as well. It's not always good to just rely on yourself for everything. It can get kind of, tasking and tiring as well. Lesson number 4, and listen up, this was a big one. And this lesson was, you have to do your homework. So this was a big lesson for me, because being someone that never played any Bloodborne or Dark Souls game before, I was way behind the learning curve. So I didn't know how to create a build, literally. I didn't even know that vitality was important. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, vigor was, I didn't know that vigor was important. So I'm over here, I played like half of the game, like my vigor was super low. And then like basically what actually ended up happening was, and I'll link this video in the description, I had posted a video on Elden Ring of me beating, I think it was a gargoyle, I think some gargoyle giants or whatever, and I had beat them, and then someone looked at my stats and they were like, yo bro, your build is trash, like garbage. And then I had to go back, and I was like, oh, and then they actually gave me some advice on the build too. Then I started doing research into builds and like Dark Souls and everything. I was like, oh, okay, so I have to do this, like I have to have this, and then that helped me understand attribute scaling with weapons. And I was like, wow, I have been playing this game all along. Like, it was a like Einstein, like Eureka moment. And then from there, the game got a lot easier, because I started for starters, I raised my vigor. You know what I mean? Also, shout out this guy on YouTube. His name's like Ratatoskar or whatever, Ratatoskar, I don't know, but I'm gonna link his video as well. He had a video on vigor, basically just explaining vigor in it, and like showing that your vigor is probably too low. If you're having a hard time in the game, your vigor is probably too low. So it was just a lesson for me that like I needed to like know my personnel better and know what game I was playing, and just actually do research. Like, some people just want to have fun and play the game, but actually doing the research and taking a little bit of time to actually understand some things will help you enjoy the game better and beat the game a lot faster. Like, I kind of blew through the second half of bosses because my vigor was just so high, and like my build was actually decent finally. From like playing a game to not having a good build, like now I had decent build and weapons. Like, I understood what everything did, like robustness, type of damage I was taking, what type of armor I was using. So I understood the game a lot better, so it was easy for me to navigate bosses a lot easier. So I didn't have much of a problem, honestly, until I got to like Malekith. But yeah, other than that, that was a really big lesson for me. This segues me perfectly into my 5th lesson, which is have a game plan. And let me give you a quote. Not sure who said this quote, but I'm pretty sure it goes something like, those who fail to plan to fail. And that's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, I had to, with every boss, it's almost like you need to come with a game plan. Like, all right, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use incantations with my shield so he can't hit me, but I'm going to use incantations to hopefully break his guard. Or I might use this specific weapon because it has a certain Ash of War that, can break his guard or will keep me healed throughout the fight, or will just be able to, I can attack quickly and then recover, get some space, lose some ground, and attack him again. Like, you have to come with a game plan. Like, I don't think there was a couple any boss that you like beat in the first trial was just clearly too weak, because every boss required a game plan. Like, that was really a thing. So obviously the lesson from life is that you just need to plan. It's better to plan than come completely unprepared, and you never know. Like, now you just have to roll with the punches. So it's important. That was a big lesson for me. Just always plan accordingly for things, and being well prepared is a lot better than winging it. Lesson number 6 is it's okay not to be perfect. Now let me explain. So when I first started the game, not understanding how Dark Souls works, I'm very, like, basically in all these games, any type of RPG game with like attribute kind of thing where you can level up, I've just always favored being well balanced. Like even in 2K, when I create a build, I'm gonna be as well balanced as possible. Like I always end up getting like a 3-level score, or like maybe like all around 2-way, just because I like to be all balanced. Like I want to be able to do a little bit of everything. I want to rebound. I want to be able to shoot. I want to be able to dunk. Like I want to be able to pass. Like I want to be able to do it all. And that sometimes that messes me up in creating builds, because you kind of gotta sacrifice one thing for another thing. That's what Elden Ring really taught me. Like I was like, because when I first started, I wanted to be able to do all the sorceries and all the incantations, and yet still be able to wield all the strongest weapons. Like it didn't make sense, and it wasn't possible. Like it wasn't really plausible for my gameplay. And that's why like my gameplay was suffering. Like I was taking a long time to level up, because like I love the Dark Souls mechanism that as you level up, each level costs a little bit more runes. So by the time you're like honestly at like level 50, 60, like it starts to get pretty expensive to level up. And then from there, and then like obviously you're not getting many runes, so there's only like so many spots that you can farm a good amount of runes. Shout out Fort Pharaoh, because that was my spot for a long time before I got to Mogwin's Palace. By the time I got to Mogwin's Palace, like I basically already beat the game, so there was no point. But like I heard there's a secret way to get to Mogwin's Palace early in the game, so that would have been really good for farming runes. But yeah, man, it just taught me essentially that it's okay not to be perfect. Like I didn't have to be leveled up in everything. Like I rebuffed about twice at Ronaldo's library, and I literally just got rid of intelligence. I just gave up on sorcery completely. I was like, maybe I just make a sorcery build. I'm sorry, I'm making intelligence builds next time. But for the most part, I gave up on sorcery, and that helped me a lot, because now I was just more like a faith dexterity-ish build with a little strength. Like, you know what I mean? But everyone, this is a funny joke, but I say everyone's gonna be a vigor build, because you need vigor. Like I guess some people, like if they want to be like no hit, if they want to do like a no hit build where they're just really good at dodging, you can do that. But for the most part, everyone's gonna have really high vigor. But yeah, that was just a lesson for me. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to accomplish everything and get everything. You know what I mean? Collect everything. I'm such a collector and want to get everything throughout the game. You know, see every dungeon, beat every boss. But at a point, I realized I was like, let me just lock in, get a good build, and beat the game. Because honestly, I was like, I'm not going to be spending a year playing this game. You know what I mean? And last but not least, lesson number 7 is probably the biggest lesson, and I'm really feeling it right now. Lesson is you have to keep going. You can't rest on your laurels. Like you got to find another purpose. And that is, I'm feeling this almost like existential dread, because this game, I've been playing it for literally 9 months. Like I've been playing it since mid 2022. Like I was a whole different person when I started the game, and now I beat the game. So it's just like, damn, in my mind I'm like, what's next? You know what I mean? Like I was so used to always like, all right, I got Elden Ring to play. You know what I mean? Like if I ever get too bored, now I just feel like this, like almost like a void. Like what do I play next? Obviously maybe I'll pick up another game, and hopefully I can pick up another game that you guys like some content on. Let me know in the comment section which game you guys think I should play next. But yeah, I'm just feeling a little empty right now. Like, damn. And I think part of me, that's my personality. I like to salvage games, because I always feel this way when it's over. I'm even the same way with books. Like when I read a book, a really good one, I just feel like wow, that's it, that's how it ended. Even though there are alternate endings, and I could play again at different builds, but like I know the game now, so it won't have its same luster of like discovering new things and things like that. So I'm either going to be waiting on the DLC, or I heard they're going to be making a new game, so maybe we'll get something in like 2024 or 2025. But maybe I could go back to Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but that's like that's a lot older. I don't really like to go back in time to games. But you know, I'll figure it out. But yeah, guys, that was a video, and I want to create this video in order to highlight that you can learn from anything. Even a video game can teach you a lot. I've learned a lot from this game, and it's been a big part of my life, honestly, for the past year. And I'm hoping that you guys will learn something from this video as well as being able to apply knowledge and wisdom to everything that you do in everyday life, so you can hopefully learn something as well. But other than that, I thank you for really tuning in with me, guys. Stay tuned for some more videos to come, and as always, find your Zen, your final form. I'll see you next time, guys.